Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Kiwi Empire Model Showcase series, where I show off, attempt to show off my mediocre painting skills and let you guys all know what I've been working on. So thanks to the government quarantine lockdown, I have actually had quite a bit of a chance to work on some stuff I've always been meaning to get round to doing, some of the models left on my shelf, and some of the models I've been a bit afraid to get, to paint. I kind of thought I'd screw them up. So as you can see, I've added two new big names to my collection at the moment, and I thought I'd like to just talk over with them now. So the first one, it's obvious who it is. It's Sanguinius, Primarch of the Blood Angels, my favourite Primarch. Now, I've had him for about 6 months, but I've been afraid to do him, which gets onto my mindset of when you're afraid to do a model because you fear you'll screw it up. Now, as for Sanguinius and any Primarch, that I've done, I've always been afraid to do them for the fear I'd screw them up. You see, I've also done Mortarion as well. And I kind of feel like that's been limiting my ability. Like, the models don't do anything if they sit in a box. They'll never get ruined, but they'll never actually do anything either. And I think actually just doing a Primarch or a really important model like a named character really just allows you to, put your skills to the test in a more competitive, more nerve-wracking sort of environment. And I'll be honest, for example, Corax here was the first Primarch I ever built, and he's probably my least favourite because I made a lot of mistakes with him. Some of his pinions on his wings broke off. I wasn't a big fan of, how his face turned out. And I wasn't really generally impressed overall with him. However, through him, I was able to, in the mistakes I'd learned, or things I'd learned, I was able to work on Russ. And as you can see with Russ, there's a bit better in quality already from Corax. There's a bit more shading, a bit more highlighting. His face isn't as, nasty as it was. And then from the work on him, I worked on Dawn. And as you can see, Dawn I did a little bit of different thing to Russ. So with every Primarch I got better, and I definitely think that was an important detail, and it allowed me to build up to Sanguinius. And as you can see, the other thing I've been working on is the Sisters of Battle. I finally got myself one of the limited edition box sets, and I've been going through it. As you can see, I've actually heavily converted my Canoness. I borrowed the power weapon and made her Blessed Blade a hell of a lot weirder and more ostentatious. I also did an Immolator and a Exorcist. Geez, I almost forgot it. As you can see, I'm no scrub. I actually did on the inside as well. Did the stained glass up the front, which I'm kind of happy with. I must admit, I do prefer the Exorcist a little bit more, just because I think I had a better chance to dip into some of my painting skills with that one. And I'm really liking, did the interior, did the parchment on the front. And I think the Exorcist really looks good overall. I also did the two penitent engines. Again, I preferred the one on the left because I actually converted the one on the left's pose, and it looks a lot more natural than the one on the right, which I did out of the box. And as you can see, they're going to go with my Sisters of Battle, who I've all based, and I did a few touching up details on them. So, yeah, this month's actually been quite good. Done Mortarion, Sanguinius, done some more Sisters of Battle, did the Canoness and the tanks, and I must admit, they're looking pretty good. Now, next on the list, I actually sourced an original metal model of Marathi, and this is my first Warhammer Fantasy Battle model. So I'm actually kind of impressed with her. Not my greatest work, because I'm not so good on flesh, but I really liked it overall. So, and I finally finished it off by finishing the Raven Guard Captain and Banner Bearer. And next time I'm going to finish the rest of my Raven Guard. So, yeah, a month of Primarchs and a month of Sisters so far, which I think is jolly good. And hopefully next month I'll be able to, finish the Sisters of Battle in finality and work on finishing those Raven Guard. But yeah, I think my model tip for this time is don't be afraid of models you have to paint just because they're, named models or just because you think they're important. Because you may fuck it up, but you'll know so much for next time. And if you're worried about ruining something like a Primarch, then source second-hand ones, or let's be honest, there are definitely more than a few recast Primarchs out there, and work on them beforehand. I found I've learned a lot more from my mistakes and the models I fuck up than I've ever done from models that I just finish and immediately go, perfect. So yeah, that's just my little tip for this month. And I shall say farewell, everybody, and I hope you all have a wonderful lockdown. As wonderful as it can be, I suppose. Bye-bye.